What's up? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. And this is your teacher, Mercado. I am EDUKADO. And magpi-feature tayo ng panibagong subject tonight or today kasi bago na tapos na tayo sa Philippine Politics and Governance. This time, we're going to discuss a new subject or course. Ito ay pang grade 12 na subject. Ito ang Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. And this is lesson 1. Actually, naging teacher din ako ng Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics 2 years ago. And this time, I'm going to share my slides and presentations for Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. Our objective for today is articulate observations on human cultural variation, social differences, social change, and political identities. So, alamin natin kung ano nga ba ito. Alright. So, meron tayo ditong unang activity. This is what we call Know Pa More. Simple lang naman ang gagawin mo eh. Give some adjectives to yourself and to your classmates. Positive man or negative. So, bigyan ko kayo ng at least 30 seconds para mag-isip, para malaman natin kung ano nga ba ang mga positibo and negatibo sa ating sarili at sa mga kaklase natin. Even though na hindi natin sila kasama, pwede naman natin sila ma-assess kasi kilala naman natin sila before. 30 seconds starts now. Alright, tingin ko 30 seconds na yun. So, kung ano man ang mga positive or negative na adjectives as comment to yourself at sa iba pang kaklase mo, ano kaya ang connection nun sa topic natin? To know more regarding this topic, I will show some pictures and try to analyze these pictures. Alright, first picture. Ano kaya pinapakita niya? If your answer in this picture is oppression, so possible po siya. And kung ang sagot mo rin naman ay it's all about social class, okay yon. Next picture. Ayan. So ano kaya pinapakita ng picture? So meron tayong couples na nakikita. Merong men and women. So, kung ang sagot mo, men and women in the society, so check yon. If your answer naman ay different physical appearances of people, so check din yon. Next picture. Mga taong nakapatong sa pera. If your answer in this picture is economic status of each person in the society, that's correct. May mahirap, may mayaman. So, may kaya. So, pwede naman yan. Next picture. So, kung nakakita ka ng pictures na may mga parang monghe, so, if your answer is connected to religion, so that is correct. Next picture. So, a picture showing different kinds of nations. Kung ang sagot mo ay different races or lahi, or different people around the world, that's correct. Next picture. So, dalawang kamay na naghahawakan pero may mga map ng world sa kanilang kamay. If your answer is all about unity ng mga tao sa buong mundo because of their aside from the physical differences, so, or cultural differences, that's correct. Next picture. So, let's go with some animals naman. So, if you can see in this picture, meron isang nakakataas, apex, and meron tayong isang maliit na small animal na naglilik or naglilinis para sa kanya. If your answer is a boss and a follower, so possible din naman. If your answer is Social discrimination, so pasok din naman siya sa sinasabi natin na interpretation nyo based on your analysis dito sa ating picture. Okay, next picture. So meron tayong tatlong lalaking nakaupo. If your answer is, again, showing social economic differences ng mga tao, so that's correct. Now, this picture. So, iba't ibang itsura ng babae. So, therefore, possible, ang tamang sagot dito ay, if your answer is, the status of women in the society, that's correct. So, if your answer here is, different people around the world building a strong nation, that's correct. Sa dami-dami ng pinagkakaiba-iba natin at nagsasama-sama tayo at nagtutulong-tulong at nakakabuo tayo ng pagkakaisa, therefore we can say that we are building a unity. So that's the answer. Oh, if your answer is children or child status in the society, that's correct. Then, again, the economic status of man in the society, that's correct. And, if your answer here is bullying, so possible din naman, kasi may mga grupo na magkakatulad na lahi at merong isa doon sa gilid na picture na white man siya. So, kung sinasabi natin ay social discrimination, possible din naman po. Different kind of people forming a puzzle or forming unity. According to the picture, keep your coins, I want change. So, ano kaya ang connection ng mga pictures na yan? Try natin i-analyze together. A face with different colors. So, if your answer here is differences but building as one, so that's correct. Now, based on the pictures, what does the pictures tell us about? Ano kaya pinaparating niya? Ano kaya ang mga nilalaman nun? If your answer is differences, possible. If your answer here is identity is correct. Now, let's talk about identity. Ano nga ba ang pagkakakilanlan? That's the Tagalog term of identity. Identity is distinctive characteristic or characteristics that defines an individual or are shared by those belonging to a particular group. So therefore, ito yung nakikita na katangian ng isang tao o mga grupo ng tao na pinagsama-sama sa isang lugar. And we have different factors in our identities. First is yung sexual orientation. We also have the gender and we also have the nationality. So, ano nga ba mga pinagkaiba nito? Example, yung sexual orientation. Ano ka ba? Male or female ka ba? Or boy or girl? Sa gender ba ay male, female, or member ka ng LGBTQ, IA, or trans women ka ba? O trans man? And in nationality, ano ba ang iyong mga dialects or nationalities or languages na ginagamit? So, those are the identity factors na pwede nating pagbatayan to know what kind of identity ang meron sa isang tao. Identity can also change over the course of a person's lifetime. Hindi lamang ibig sabihin na, ay ito lang ang alam niyang language. Hindi naman habang buhay na yun lang ang alam niya. Of course, we, as a man, we are the one who makes our own path or course. So, kung ano matatahakin natin, na pinipili natin, kung anong klaseng identity ka, mababago naman yun throughout the period of your lifetime. continuously shape and reshape through the passage of time. Ayun. So, nababago nga yan. Hindi ibig sabihin na, halimbawa, nung elementary, siya ay mahiyain, pagdating ba ng matanda siya, sobrang mahiyain pa rin ba? So, pwede naman nag-boost na yung confidence niya, and iba na yung identity na meron siya. So, therefore, maraming factors that can affect the identity of a person. It also includes his or her activities. Let's say, for example, may bago kang natutunang activity, naging libangan mo na, nagustuhan mo na, sinabuhay mo na. So, therefore, it's your choice. Then, it becomes who you are. And that is your identity within your society and interactions with other people. Depende rin sa mga nakakasalamuha mo. Halimbawa, nung bata ka, nakakasalamuha mo ay mga matatalino. Therefore, naging epekto nila sa'yo, mag-aral ka rin mabuti. Pero pagdating ng college mo, naging mga kaibigan mo at kabarkada mo ay may mga bisyo. Therefore, possible na ma-adapt mo rin ang kanilang habits. Therefore, nagbabago ang iyong identity batay sa mga taong nakakasalamuha mo. But the most important here is because identity shape both individual and group behavior as well as a people's view about other people and society. Therefore, malaki ang role ni identity kasi si identity ang bumubuo at humuhubog ng pagkatao ng isang individual. At yung mga individual na yan, kapag nagsama-sama at nakahawa ng iba't ibang identity sa iba't ibang tao, batay sa kanilang interactions and different activities together, it forms the society. At yun yung naging identity ng society na yon. Example, or grupo na yon. Example, grupo ng matatalino. So, what do you expect? Karamihan ng mga membro nito ay magagaling, matatalino, genius. Yan. With an IQ above 200. Example lang yon. So, therefore, yun yung nagiging group of the people. And there's a great chance that this group of people becomes a society. Now, let's talk about culture. Sa culture, it's society's way of life. Ito yung paraan kung paano nabubuhay ang isang society. It also provides the basis for forging identities. Example, nung pinanganak ka na, meron talagang naka-feature na identity. Halimbawa, ang parents ko ay Roman Catholic. Therefore, ma-adapt ko based on my identity, yung religion nila na Roman Catholic din. Pero, sabi ko nga, identity can be changed throughout your course of your lifetime. Example, Roman Catholic ako ng bata, pero pagdating ko ng 30 years old, nag-change ako ng religion. So, possible yon kasi ako naman yung gumagawa ng activity sa buhay ko. So, that's the culture. Malaki ang ginagampanan niya sa pagbabago ng isang identity ng isang tao na bubuo sa buong society. Society, on the other hand, is referring to the group of people living in a community. So, grupo to ng mga tao na nagsama-sama at namumuhay sa isang komunidad o isang lugar. Therefore, society is also a web of social relationships which is always changing. Para siyang sapot ng gagamba na maraming linya na konektado sa bawat isa, na kung saan yung mga connection na yun pwedeng mabago araw-araw or depende sa ginagawang action ng isang individual. Now, let me play a video about culture shock. So, ano nga ba tong culture shock na to? Okay. So, kung titignan natin yung video, yung bread toaster, galing siya ng United States of America. Napadpad siya sa ibang lugar na kung saan yung saksakan ay 3. Sa kanya 2 lang eh. Therefore, nagkaroon siya ng problem kung paano niya i-fit yung kanyang cord sa saksakan. And also, yung size ng bread, naging issue rin sa kanya. Therefore, yun yung culture. Siya kasi galing siya sa ibang kultura, sa ibang culture. So, ang tawag doon, kapag ang isang individual or grupo ng mga tao ay napunta sa isang lugar na meron ng dating kultura, sino mag-a-adapt? Yung bang kultura doon o yung kultura mo? Therefore, ikaw bilang individual. Kasi, hindi mo basta-basta pwedeng baguhin yung sistema. Sistema na yun eh. Sistema ng mga tao doon sa isang lugar. That's their culture. Therefore, kailangan mo mag-adapt. Now po, kapag ikaw ay naninibago, kagaya nung toaster, nanibago siya sa unang dating niya hanggang sa dulo, ang tawag doon, culture shock. It's the shortest time para makapag-adapt. Pero kapag sobrang tagal na ikaw ay hindi pa rin maka-adapt sa isang kultura ng isang lugar, ang tawag doon, culture lag. Ayan na, culture shock, maikli lang na pag-adjust sa kultura ng isang lugar. Yung culture lag naman, sobrang haba na pero hindi ka pa rin sanay sa kultura nila. But in the video, it's literally shock. Na-shock talaga yung toaster kasi pinilit niya talagang ipasok yung saksakan niya. Now, let's talk about culture. Ano nga ba ang kultura? Let me play a video again for this topic about culture.
Cultures Around the World by Nada Handley. Let's explore the world together and learn about different cultures. There are many cultures around the world you can learn from. Each culture has its own language, which is a way we communicate or talk with each other. Different cultures have their own traditional clothing. Traditional clothing is clothing used to represent who we are. Cultures have their own values, like family, friendships, and yes, education. Tell me, what do you value? They have their own beliefs. Beliefs are feelings and thoughts that people have of something or someone being true or good. We may be different in some things, but every culture loves traditional food. Yum! What's your favorite food? We all love to dance, play musical instruments, and sports. You live in Houston, Texas, a multicultural city. Even though we may be different in a lot of ways, we are still people. People that live in one world.
Alright, so dito sa video na to, dinefine ko ano ba ang kultura. Anong meron sa culture? We have the sports, the foods, traditional costume, yung kanilang dance. So, education is also part of culture. Ibig sabihin, yung mga nakasanayan ng society nung mga naunang panahon, at ito'y pinaulad lamang because of the changes happening in the society, yun yung culture, yun yung espiritu ng society, yun yung ginagawa na araw-araw ng mga tao sa isang komunidad. Now let's go with some elements of culture. Explanation of the major elements that define culture. So let me play again another video.
Culture is a huge topic of study for sociologists. Culture exists anywhere humans exist, and no two cultures are exactly the same. We've started talking about culture in another lesson and discussed its combination of elements that together form a people's unique way of life. In this lesson, we are going to take a closer look at those elements, specifically symbols, language, values, and norms. These elements look different across cultures, and many change with time as a society evolves. The first element that exists in every culture is a variety of symbols. A symbol is anything that is used to stand for something else. People who share a culture often attach a specific meaning to an object, gesture, sound, or image. For example, a cross is a significant symbol to Christians. It is not simply two pieces of wood attached to each other, nor is it just an old object of torture and execution. To Christians, it represents the basis of their entire religion, and they have great reverence for the symbol. We can see more examples of symbols in American culture. Emoticons are combinations of keyboard characters that many use to represent their feelings online or through texting. The American flag represents our entire country. A red light at a traffic intersection is used to relay the message that you need to stop your vehicle. The second element present in every culture is a language. Language is a system of words and symbols used to communicate with other people. This includes full languages as we usually think of them, such as English, Spanish, French, etc. But it also includes body language, slang, and common phrases that are unique to certain groups of people. For example, even though English is spoken fluently in both America and Britain, we have slang and phrases that mean different things. American French fries are British chips. American cookies are British biscuits, and so on. Another example of how cultural languages differ beyond vocabulary is the fact that eye contact represents different meanings in different cultures. In America, eye contact suggests that you are paying attention and are interested in what a person has to say. In other cultures, eye contact may be considered rude and to be a challenge of authority. Another cultural element is a system of values, which are culturally defined standards for what is good or desirable. Members of the culture use the shared system of values to decide what is good and what is bad. For example, in America, we are individualistic. We encourage competition and emphasize personal achievement. A person who accepts a promotion in our culture is praised for their individual hard work and talent. But our values are in stark contrast with the collectivistic values of other cultures, where collaboration is encouraged and a person's success is only as good as their contributions to the group. The same person that is offered a promotion who lives in a collectivistic culture would consult with his family before accepting to ensure that it would be the most beneficial to the group as a whole. The last element of culture we'll discuss in this lesson is a collection of norms. Norms are culturally defined expectations of behavior. They are guidelines we use to determine how we should behave in any given situation and what would be considered inappropriate behavior. For example, we know that we should stand in line to use the restroom without even thinking about our behavior. If someone cuts in front of us, we are certainly irritated, if not angry, that the other person has not followed the norms of our culture. Norms vary in their perceived importance and in the way that others react to their violation. Some norms are turned into formal rules and laws, while others are simply unwritten rules of etiquette for everyday behavior. These unwritten rules can typically be categorized as either folkways or mores. Folkways are norms that dictate appropriate behavior for routine or casual interaction. In our culture, boys wear pants instead of skirts, and we all know not to pick our nose in public. These are casual rules for behavior. Although we may think that people who violate them are weird or rude, we don't think they should be imprisoned for their behavior. On the other hand, mores are norms that dictate morally right or wrong behavior. These are rules for behavior that are so important that they usually don't even get written down because they go without saying. Using loud profanity at a funeral is a fairly mild example. More serious mores are considered taboo, and people who violate them are considered unfit for society. For example, there are no formal laws against cannibalism in the United States, yet those who participate in cannibalism violate such an important norm that they are punished and severely ostracized from society. In summary, some of the common elements that make up individual cultures are symbols, language, values, and norms.
Again, those are all important elements of culture. So, tandaan po natin yung apat na yon kasi mahalaga sila para makamold ng isang kultura. So, I will not elaborate it anymore because na-discuss na siya dun sa video. So, pwede nyo i-replay back yun later or you can search this video sa youtube.com. Now, let's go with social, cultural, and political change. These kind of changes are related to each other because it helps us to form our identities, the individual and group identities. Kapag marunong tayo makipag-socialize, it forms our identities. Kapag meron tayong kultura, it forms our identities. Kapag meron tayong pinaniniwalaang ideologies, especially in political ideologies, it also change our identities on how we think and act those ideas or principles sa buhay natin. Now, it's time to prepare yourself to change the world. And there are many ways to change the world. Example lang, na makaka-apekto sa iyong sarili as your identity. Of course, right to vote. So, kung botante ka na, 18 years old ka na, especially dito sa Pilipinas, i-practice natin yan. Kasi yung pwede natin i-vote is malaki ang pwedeng ma-contribute sa pagbabago ng ating society and our own identity. Ang tawag sa right to vote is what we call suffrage. Also, technologies. Depende yan kung paano mo gagamitin yung technology. Pwedeng mabuti, pwedeng nakakasama. It's up to you. Then another, trends in clothing. So, kung paano mo susuportahan yung mga fashions na lumalabas by this year, 2020. O kung isusupport mo ba yung conservative fashion. So, it's up to you kung futuristic fashion ka naman or modern fashion. Hairstyle. So, connected din yan. Fashion. The food choices. Ayan, malaking factor din yan. Kung anong uri ka ng tao or identity meron ka. Kasi batay din sa kinakain mo. Then, also yung internal migration. So, yung paglipat-lipat at pagpasok sa isang society. So, yung immigrants po, ito yung pagpasok ng immigrants po, ito yung mga tao na pumasok sa isang lugar. Yung immigrants naman, ito naman yung paglabas mula sa isang lugar. So, another is yung transnational families. Another is yung food taboos o yung mga pinagbabawal na foods. Then, also is yung standby, pagiging standby. So, ano ba ang role ng mga standby? Malaki ang role niyan. It's up to you kung titignan mo sila in a positive or negative way. Pero, I think, being standby is need to change. Need to change talaga. Needed to change kasi mas malaki ang magiging contribution nila sa identity ng society kapag nagkaroon sila ng magandang act aside from being a standby. Texting or the social media, kasama rin yan sa mga examples natin. Also, the local public services, syempre, can change your ideas and principles or paniniwala. Also, is yung political dynasties. Kung meron tayong mga sinusuportahang mga tao, so part yan na sinasabi nating political dynasties. And last one is yung youth volunteerism. Be part of different groups na susuporta sa mga pagbabago na meron tayo sa society natin. So, those are all examples of social, cultural, and political change. Now, we need to work for social change. Change ahead of time. Then, let me leave a simple quote of the day. Social change will save the world. That's it. And social change, saan mo sisimula? Sa'yo. Therefore, change your identity for the betterment of your society, for the betterment of the whole world. Simpleng bagay pero magiging malaki ang impact sa pagbabago ng ating mundo. Again, if you want to have a copy of our PowerPoint, you can message at the email. You can also like my Facebook page, I am EDUKADO, and like also and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I am EDUKADO. Thank you so much for listening. I am EDUKADO, signing off for this topic, Lesson 1 in Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. Thank you so much.